right, in this lesson, lesson 4-10, we're going to estimate our products. So, what do you remember about estimation? And then come back to me. Okay, so estimation, you should know it's rounding, right? So, what do you remember about rounding? If you don't remember how to round, please go back to lesson 2.8 for review. It's in my website. Unit 2, Lesson 8, and I go in depth on what rounding is and how to round. I'm just going to go very quickly for this because that's not our goal for this lesson. Our goal for this lesson is to estimate products, to estimate answers, so then we can see if we're close in our exact answers. All right. So again, if you need more of a review, go to Unit 2, Lesson 8 on my website and watch that math video. All right. Quick little review, you should have this handout from lesson 2.8 like I stated before. You find the target number, you box it in, look at the number on the right, if it's a 0, 1, 2, or 3, or 4. Then the target stays the same, add a 0 to the number to the right, the numbers on the left stay the same. So for example, if we round this to the nearest 10th, our target number is the 10th, so I boxed it in. So I look at the 2. The 2 is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, rounds down. So the 2 becomes a 0, the 3 stays the same, it becomes 8.30. And I'm going over this fast, I know, but if you need more help, again, go back to lesson 2.8. And remember, you round up if the digits are 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 on the right of the target. So again, same example. But this time I run around to the nearest 10th and I change the number a little bit here. So now it's my number is a 6, so it tells me to round up. So remember, I'm going to add a 1 to the 3. The 3 becomes a 4, it becomes 8.40. I know that's quick, but again, if you need help, go back to Unit 2, Lesson 8. All right. Okay, so let's review some rounding a little bit. Go ahead and round these numbers to the nearest 10, not tenths, 10. So 46, 71, and 928, round us to the nearest 10 and then come back to me. Okay, so 46 rounds to 50. I boxed in the 4 because the 4 is in the tens place. I see that 6 is more than fourth. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So I added 1. It becomes 50, 71. Boxed in the 7. The 7's in the tens place. The 1 tells me to round down, so it becomes 70. 928. The 2 is in the tens place. I look at the 8. The 8 tells me to round up, so I add 1 more, so it becomes 930. Okay, so now round these numbers to the nearest 100. 231, 459, 893, and then come back to me. Okay, so 231 turns into 200. It's in the hundreds place is the 2. I boxed it in. Look at the 3. The 3 tells me to round down. It becomes 200. 459. The 4 is in the hundreds place. I look at the 5. The 5 tells me to round up, so I add 1 more, and that becomes 500. The 893. The 8's in the hundreds. I look at the 9. The 9 tells me to add 1 more because it's more than, it's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. 8 plus 1 is 9. It becomes 900. Okay, just a quick review. Okay, and now round 86 hundredths to the nearest 10th. So now we're doing the tenths to the nearest 10th. Round 263 thousandths to the nearest hundredth. Go ahead and do that and then come back to me. Okay, so hopefully you got 9/10 for the 86 hundredths. Nearest 10th, the 8's in the 10th spot. I look at the 6. The 6 tells me to round up, add 1 more. It becomes a 9. And remember, it doesn't matter if you put that 0 or you don't put that 0. It doesn't matter. You can add as many zeros as you want at the end. It does not matter. Okay, and for 263 thousandths, rounded to the nearest hundredth. The 6 is in the hundreds. I box that in. Look at the 3. The 3 tells me to round down. It becomes a 0, so it becomes 26 hundredths. And again, the 0 doesn't matter. Can have as many zeros. Okay, now that we got that down, now we can get to the heart of the lesson. Okay, so now that we got that, we're going to round them to the nearest tenth, and then we're going to multiply. to see if we were to do the multiplication to see how close we would be to the real answer. Okay, so I'm doing two things. I'm going to round them first to the nearest tenth, then I'm going to multiply, and then I'm going to find the exact answer to see how close I am. Okay, all right, so let's do that. Okay, so when we round to the nearest tenth, hopefully you got 73 hundredths, round to 7/10, right? I boxed in the 7, that's in the tenths place. 3 tells me to round down, it becomes a 7. 15 hundredths rounds up to 2/10. I boxed in the tenth spot. I looked at the 5. 5 tells me to round up, add 1, 2/10. 2 times 7 is 14. I ignore the decimals, right? Then bring my decimal back in. 2 shifts and becomes 14 hundredths. Now, if I were to do the exact answer, if I were to multiply 73 times 15, if I do all the math, I'm gonna get 1,095 ten thousandths, right? Is that close to my 14 hundredths? Hmm, sort of, right? But it kind of gives me a ballpark that I'm kind of in the right ballpark. I have a 1 in the tenths, a 1 in the tenths. I'm pretty close. That tells me I probably did it right. So that's one way for you to check your answers to see if you're doing it right. Use estimation. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, so you try one. Round to the nearest tenth, then multiply, and then also find the exact answer to see if you were close. Okay, then come back to me. Okay, so if you rounded 91 hundredths, right, to the nearest tenth, you should have got 9 tenths. And if you rounded 483 thousandths to the nearest tenth, you should have gotten 5 tenths. So hopefully you got that. And if I multiply 9 times 5, that's 45. And then add my decimal, so 45 hundredths. Then if you multiplied 483 times 91, right, without the decimals, you would have gotten 43,953. Then I added back my decimals in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. So 4,500 hundredths, is that close? Let's see, 4 in the tenths, 4 in the tenths, 5, 3, but look at the next number. That's a 9. That would make it a 4, right? If I were to round that to the nearest hundredth. So pretty close, right? If I were to round this to the nearest hundredth here, I would look at the 9. The 9 would tell me to add 1 more, so that would make it 0.44. Am I close? Yeah, I'm very close, right? I'm only 1/100th away from it. So pretty close to checking your answers, okay? That's how you use those to check your answers. All right, so write down what you learned, right? You learned how to check your answers by estimating. Do a proof of learning by solving a problem. So write down a problem, round it to the nearest tenth, and then multiply the two decimals to see if you're close or if you're not close. Okay, and that's it. Have a great day.